Yeah, Molly runs the show with an iron fist. Hello, Facebook Live. We're here. We're set up a little differently, but we're going to get started. Can you guys hear that music? All right. Welcome back, universe, to Off the Rails with Tom and Mark. Episode 76, our first ever 76th episode.
Coming to you from Coldwell Banker Home Sale Realty Studio here in beautiful Grafton, Wisconsin.
And if you're looking to buy or sell a home or interested in a career in real estate, email Roy at cbhsr.com, or give him a call, 414-235-0763. We'd love to be your go-to for all your real estate needs. And speaking of Roy, did he get back to you at all, Chris? We got Chris House here, founder of the Twisted Dreams Film Festival. Paranormal Investigators of Milwaukee. Did Roy get a hold of you at all yet? Not yet?
I have not heard back from Roy yet. No.
Okay. You got to keep on Roy. He's
a busy man.
He's going to be probably sponsoring something. He's got all the information. He said he'd look at it on a plane, so I caught him in between trips. So, excellent. Hey, welcome back, Mark.
Hey! Yeah, we were just talking. I've been gone for a couple of weeks, working on the house and stuff. We had a lot of deadlines coming up, basically, so I had to have a big push.
Yeah, so enjoy the weather today, everybody. If you guys are going to be doing some spring cleaning and need some supplies, go to our website, shop on Amazon. Hit the link. I'm becoming a really good whore, aren't I, Mark?
You gotta be careful with your mic. You keep turning your head, and then you go quiet.
Son of a bitch. I'm not used to here. I have this robotic Terminator arm mic over there that usually helps me out. So, what are we going to talk about today? Today, Christopher House Skypes us in to update us on Twisted Dreams, Wisconsin's largest horror film festival. Not necessarily horror, but everything twisted. Molly and I have our phones listening to us. Aunt Becky's in trouble for bribing colleges. Captain Marvel might be too feminist or not feminist enough, which leads us into the Rotten Tomatoes controversy. Social justice warriors went too far attacking classic movies, and a court in Italy overturns a rape conviction because the woman is too ugly to be raped.
What?
I heard about that article.
Yeah?
Yeah, oof.
That's
oof.
terrible.
Yeah. I have some choice words for that one.
I got a couple jokes written for that one, but announcements. If you want to check out an interview with me, I'll be on Haunted Heartland tomorrow, or Monday on River Rest Radio at 4:30, 104.1 FM, talking with Anna Lardnoise. We'll talk some Twisted Dreams. She's interested in that. You may hear some haunted stories, probably how I'm related to one of the priests who performed the exorcism in the movie The Exorcist. Also, that night at 8:30, I'll be on BS3 Sports Podcast, talking about who knows what.
Sports.
Yeah, probably Twisted Dreams, too. They both wanted me to send them questions to be asked, and that's not how we do it here on Off the Rails.
We don't do prep work.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. What questions would you like? Both of them. And I'm like,
well, they're probably going for, like, what things do you want to talk about? What things do you want us to be sure to ask you? That's a level of involvement that we're not used to here at the show.
Well, I said we're going to do it the way we do. Here's what I do, and come up with your own. I want to be off the cuff. So, another announcement. Obviously, we got Christopher House here, Twisted Dreams Film Festival, April 4th through the 7th, Wisconsin's largest horror film festival. Joe Bob Riggs, Saturday, April 6th. Tickets are on sale. He does How Redneck Saved Hollywood. We'll be podcasting live there. We'll have shirts, bumper stickers. Also, Mark and I are judging some films. Have we judged the most so far? Do you keep track on it?
I've judged 2 out of 6.
No, and I'm actually supposed to get Mark on it. I'm supposed to bug him. You gotta get on.
Yes, I just started on Wednesday because, again, all my spare time was going into the house renovations. So as soon as the carpet was in, I started watching the movies. So I'll probably have them all watched by the end of next week.
Yep.
Awesome.
Mark's on it.
They're all on the short side because they're horror movies. So I can literally watch one during nap time.
Awesome.
Put the headphones on. My little 2-year-old's asleep. Let's watch some horror movies at 2 p.m.
Yeah.
Well, best time to watch them.
Heck yeah. Yeah, the sun's out.
Yeah. We got new shirts from Force 5 Screen. That was Dan Newton.
Ron says he'll be there too.
Oh, Ron Perty will be there. He's also got a film. Don't tell me what film he has.
Yeah, he's banned though. I didn't tell him.
Oh, he's banned?
Just kidding.
Don't let me know what film. He has one of the shorts, so I'm going to be grading it. I don't want to. I don't want to know which.
How
one.
many shorts are you watching?
There's 43.
Woo!
So fine, tell me. I won't remember anyway. So go to our Patreon. Go to Force 5 Screen with Dan Wooten. Check out our shirts. We'll probably have them here next week. Molly will do some modeling. Mark will model the other shirts.
Sure.
In your 1985 dad bod chassis.
Yeah.
Yeah, hit like and share. That's the easiest way to help out the show. We got new bumper stickers. And if you want to book the Hobbit Trail Comedy Tour, I've been booking shows for them. It has been going horribly bad.
Yeah, they don't pay you because it's fun and easy.
No, I got 2 shows booked in 3 weeks. And when people book when they're drunk, you gotta deal with them
Afterwards.
Yeah, they usually call you at about 10 at night after, 3 glasses of wine, and it's just a nightmare. But I'm doing it, so. All right. Should we talk about Molly's car getting hit?
Uh-oh, this is news to me. You got hit?
Oh, yeah.
So this is leading into something. We just came home the other day, and we noticed that her car handle was dented
After
in.
Captain Marvel.
After Captain Marvel. So there was a scratch on the car, and we were trying to figure out.
Where'd you go to see the movie?
My car was parked. We didn't take my car to the movie. We took his mom's car.
No, we came
Oh, okay.
home
You
from
came home,
to notice.
and at home your car was scratched.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay. So we're talking about scratches, and my computer just put up a page that said "Aw snap."
Nice. That's probably...
Okay. Anyway, we're talking about the scratches and stuff and seeing what we can get to buff in there. And Molly, what happened next?
So yeah, immediately after I was on Facebook, and, Facebook puts up those suggested ads, and I had 2 suggested ads come up on my Facebook with scratch repair stuff.
How convenient.
I didn't Google anything. I didn't look up anything. It was listening to what we were saying.
It anticipated your needs. Like a good lover.
It was creepy. And there was something else. We had been talking about those 3D vegan steaks the prior week on our podcast.
Yeah?
And that showed up in my suggested feed too.
To buy some vegan steak.
Some 3D
vegan steak. I get those ads all the time.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
I mean, we know they're listening. It's happened on several occasions before, but...
Does this bother you?
Yeah, it bothers us.
Then turn your phones off.
I don't think it matters.
Take those shackles and leave them in your room when you go places.
Yeah. That's kind of the world we're in.
There is a Google rep said in an article on CNN, kind of has Mark's idea of it. He asked the question, were the ads helpful? Then what's the big deal?
Yeah.
The big deal is Google has 70% of the world's credit card information. And it knows everything you're talking about. What about privacy? You give that up?
Then, like I said, leave your phone at home. You don't have to have it with you all the time.
At some point, you hit allow and you gave it permission to listen.
Right.
You didn't read the 4 pages of legal tiny type when you got that last update?
Isn't there a South Park episode on that? Didn't read the fine print?
Sandy Parakilis from Facebook says that it's very unlikely.
I mean, most of this Google software is free to use. And I've been told that if you didn't pay to use it, you are what is being sold.
Yeah, there's another story I was reading talking about the ad targeting factors into the low costs of TVs and phones. But we weren't
that too.
Yeah, we weren't given the choice to buy the expensive TV without the ad monitoring.
Well, take your TV off the internet.
It don't matter, dude. Everything's on the internet. Everything's connected all the time.
Yeah. And I've accepted that, and I think I'm much happier knowing that Big Brother is there versus not knowing Big Brother is there.
Ron says, disconnect from the internet, where you watch this show.
Yeah. There's broadcast television. You can buy discs with movies on them.
Yeah, get off Facebook right now.
Put your phone down.
He also says he saw Captain Marvel when it was the better film, Wonder Woman.
Ooh, burn.
Oh.
So we know how Rod feels about it.
We'll give you I'm a little slow on my... Well, that doesn't go well.
So did you end up buffing out the scratch?
Not yet.
Oh.
No, we're kind of spying on the neighbors.
After your phone was so freaking helpful, you didn't...
Yeah, but that stuff was like $30.
What a savings.
To get a scratch up.
Not that I wasn't tempted, but...
What color is is this the gray car or
It's
the
black,
black
and
car?
it's a
Black
white
and it's got
scratch
white
on the
paint on
Like
it.
a
driver's side
Sharpie,
door.
just done.
Yeah.
It's dented though, the handlebar or the door handle.
Does this still work?
Not well. We've been having trouble with that.
Yesterday, Tom had trouble getting into the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks
All
for
right.
bringing that up. Now
Okay.
I'm even more pissed.
It's a brand new car, and it's not anything that I did.
So our phones
Very
are listening.
irritating.
We'll see what helpful ads. You ever have that happen to you, Chris?
Oh yeah, all the time. I've
Yeah.
just accepted it.
Yeah.
You're
They're
just
gonna listen
fine.
to us one way or another.
Well, what else are you going to do? What are the other options besides live off the
I don't-
grid?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
live
are you
off
gonna
the
do?
grid or
Yeah.
accept it.
Yeah, there's nothing. Yeah,
That
just
sucks.
accept it. You know.
Well, I have been
Just
moving.
like Mark said, sometimes the ads are helpful. So who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
just
I've
don't be a
been
terrorist.
moving away from having my phone on me at all
No.
times. Like I've even been told that like people leave their phone at their bedside when they go to sleep at night, and it does emit small amounts of light that can actually keep you awake because some people are sensitive to that stuff. So it's
Right.
better for your eyes and your brain and everything if you just leave the phone downstairs and go to your bedroom and sleep in the dark without your phone and all that kind of stuff. We're way too connected to this shit. We got to cut back a little bit
Yeah,
and
well,
still be human beings.
what's better than that is moving if you've got like an alarm clock radio by your nightstand or by your headboard, move that away from you. Because
Oh, yeah.
those emit crazy EMF signals. When we're doing paranormal investigations, that's the first thing we look
Really?
at is, do they have a radio by their head? Because if they're seeing shadow people when they're sleeping, they could have a radio right next to their head
Mhm.
emitting this crazy EMF signal that's just scrambling their brains.
Does that go for like analog clocks too, or is that just digital clocks?
Mhm.
It's
No,
both.
it's analog and digital.
Okay.
And if it's got the radio in it, that's the one that
Huh.
any electronic device that's next to your head when you're sleeping, you really want to be careful with it.
It's a good thing we don't have alarm clocks. We just use our phones.
That's probably worse.
Well, you could have the phone
Probably.
across the room. I think it's actually better to have alarm clocks across the room because then you have to get your ass out of bed to go turn off the alarm clock.
Yeah, there you go.
Have you seen the alarm clock that gets up and like rolls under your bed?
And you have to find it?
Yeah.
No, but I like the idea.
They've got it on wheels. It's like a, remote control car.
Well, I have a mobile alarm clock. It's called a 2-year-old.
Yeah, it
After
sucks for
2
you.
hours of sleep, you're up.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the Captain Marvel. Did everybody see it, Mark?
I did not see it.
But you
Full
read them.
disclosure, the last 5 Marvel movies I haven't seen till they're on Netflix. And in the interest of being staying the same and not changing, not giving the movie special treatment, I'm going to wait till it's also on Netflix.
Okay. How noble of you.
Yes.
Even the new Infinity War?
Yes, on New Year's Eve, Susan and I had a Marvel marathon where we watched Black Panther and Infinity War back to back, and that's when I first saw it.
Okay.
So that's just how out of touch I am.
Chris, you saw it, right?
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay. So brief backstory of Captain Marvel. It's confusing who he is. First of all, he's basically DC's Shazam because back in the 30s, Marvel took the name and patented it, even though DC had the character, so they changed it to Shazam. And then there was a character named Marvel in the 70s that I would say Marvel kept this character just so DC couldn't get the name, so they just made shitty comics. And then the Captain Marvel as Karen Danvers that we know today was
Carol Danvers.
Carol Danvers that we know today was popularized by the 1990s X-Men. So that's where you remember her from, and that's the Captain Marvel we're going with. It's a girl. Rogue got her powers from her.
Isn't
As
Danvers?
Miss Marvel.
She was Miss Marvel back then.
Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
Isn't Danvers the last name of Supergirl from that TV series too?
Well, that's DC.
Yeah,
So
I know.
that's just a coincidence.
But isn't it the same last name?
I
think it is.
I wouldn't know. I didn't watch the Supergirl show.
I did
Sorry.
Yeah,
on Netflix.
sorry.
Not a DC guy over here, so.
So the controversy going into it kind of is it got bombarded with bad reviews before it was out.
There was the want to see score, and people could click yes or no on do you want to see it. And it got a huge amount of no votes. So a few days before, Marvel pulled that, Rotten Tomatoes pulled that feature from their website.
Yeah.
And that infuriated a lot of people.
Ron says that's not a fair comparison. Carol was an Avenger.
Carol
Captain
Danvers.
Marvel will be an Avenger. I got news for you.
I don't know.
Word on the street
Any of
is
the backstories.
she's going to take over the Avengers and be the new leader.
Well, that's why she's captain.
Because,
Right,
well,
Captain America got...
that's not why he's in charge of it, yeah. They happen to be captains both. But Chris Evans is... I don't think he has any more movies under contract.
Okay.
So unless that changes, he is done playing Captain America. So either he gonna die, or he's gonna walk off into the sunset,
Or he's going to go be the Human Torch.
or they'll re-sign. Yeah,
Who he was first.
He's Tom's least favorite, isn't he?
Yeah.
Captain America.
the Human Torch.
No.
No, Captain America.
Why not? He's great.
He's got a defensive weapon. I like offensive guys.
He can hit. You can hit people with shields. He can throw it.
It's a...
Yeah, he can
I
throw
don't
that thing pretty good.
Yeah,
All right. Well, fine. You guys can like him. I just don't like him. I
he's
don't...
got a heart of gold. He was a wimpy little man at first, and then he was turned into a superhero. So he knows the meaning and the value of power.
Whatever, dude.
I just watched a video on the history of
Captain America.
Captain America and the MCU. I haven't seen the first movie in like 10 years.
Shazam and Captain Marvel are too different to compare, and Carol Danvers was an Avenger. She didn't get popularized in the X-Men.
We could argue all about it. Bottom line is,
Yeah,
it's confusing who
their
Captain
histories
Marvel
are
is.
intertwined
Yes.
for legal reasons. They have nothing to do with each other other than the fact that they share
Captain
names
Marvel
for a
was in the
period.
30s, and they turned the character into Shazam,
Mm-hmm.
the writers or whatever. So it's weird, but that happened in the 30s, long before I was born.
See, I don't follow the comics. I just watch the movies.
Yeah. So, well, what'd you think of it? What'd you think of the movie?
I liked it. You know, it wasn't one of my favorite Marvel movies, but I enjoyed it. I had fun.
I thought it was fine too.
Where does it
Yeah.
fall compared to the other Marvel movies? Do you think this is average for a Marvel movie or better than
on
average?
the lower end.
Okay.
The lower end.
To be fair, they're
I'd
all
say it was
great
below
movies.
average, yeah.
Yes.
There's
yeah.
there's like 3 bad Marvel movies
Yeah.
in the MCU, like what, Iron Man 2 and what else?
Iron Man 3.
And Iron Man 3.
I liked those.
Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah, that one was more forgettable than bad, but I guess that is the worst the MCU has. It's
That
just
is-
forgettable.
that is, yeah.
Ron's still arguing about Shazam.
Okay.
That's right.
All right.
He was the wizard that Billy got his powers from, apparently.
Okay.
Shazam. Anyway.
All right.
So back to Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, I thought the movie, we'll go to what I thought of the movie. I thought it was one of its worst movies because the jokes kind of made you feel like you're supposed to laugh, but they weren't really funny.
Oh, they fell flat?
Yeah, you were kind of fake laughing at them. And I thought it was a little heavy-handed, but the feminists are saying it wasn't heavy-handed enough. I mean, when she's doing like a fight scene to I'm Just a Girl, which is not really a good fight scene song.
Well, you're making a
kinda
movie that
see-
takes place in the 90s. In
So,
general,
yeah, they have
I think it's a mistake to use pop songs if you want your movie to feel timeless, but it's supposed to be a period movie, so I I guess I'll allow it.
Okay. Yeah, but we got No Doubt, we got, Hole, we got Volcano Girl.
Well, it's a girl power movie, Tom.
Yeah, that's okay. But if they didn't try, like, you could say Alien was a girl power movie, but they didn't try to, like, come out and you couldn't feel if they used a lighter touch with it.
The movie lacked, not having seen it, from what it sounds like, the movie is failing to bring people together, and it is merely dividing people further. And
Okay.
you look at movies like Black Panther and Wonder Woman that are also potential minefields, but everybody generally liked both those movies.
Yes.
So there is something about Captain Marvel that is different from Wonder Woman and Black Panther
How
that
about Brie
is
Larson?
not dividing people.
Brie Larson going off on white men before the movie
Yes.
came out didn't help.
Yes, Black Panther didn't, go on raids about how white men keep keeping the black man down and stuff like
and
that.
shouldn't see the movie.
It could have gone all Black Klansman on us, but it didn't.
Yeah.
So,
I still haven't seen that movie.
Black Panther?
No, Black Klansman.
Black Klansman was very good.
I
So
will
the
see it.
The Rotten Tomatoes, they first came out and said it was a glitch, and then they came out and said, nah, we pulled it.
They said they've been planning this change for a while, and they fast-tracked it because of this, is what I heard.
What's going on?
Ron says, I question why I don't get laid and I'm arguing comic books.
With somebody that's not arguing back. I let it go.
Sir, your standards are too high. Nerds are making little nerds every day.
Mark is a great example.
Yeah. We're going to C2E2 next week. That's why I can't record on Sunday, so we have to record on Saturday. That's the big Comic-Con in Chicago.
All right.
But we're going one day only because we have a child, so we're going on family day so she can...
But you're dressing her up, right?
Not really. My mom's going to make her a skirt. So tomorrow we're going to go to Joann Fabric and buy some fun nerd fabric, and my mom will make her a little skirt out of it. Last year she had a Doctor Who jumper that was very popular. But...
Very cool. I thought it was interesting in the Captain Marvel movie how they actually had her crash into like an old school Blockbuster. I'm like, how did they even find a Blockbuster that was still
is there one left?
I
thought there was one in Alaska.
Yeah.
Either that or they just made one.
Movie magic.
But they had a Blockbuster and then a Radio Shack, and it's like, aw.
Well, that was one of the criticisms I've heard, is that it's leaning heavily on nostalgia, because now kids like us who grew up in the 90s look back on that stuff so fondly.
Yeah, and Fury had a pager.
So, yeah, movies like Doctor Strange couldn't rely on nostalgia in the same way that Captain Marvel relied on nostalgia. Have you read anything about how Captain Marvel possibly breaks continuity in the Marvel universe?
I think she's so messed up you can just grab whatever you want.
No, because apparently she gets her powers from the Tesseract.
Yeah.
And it was just sitting around and no one was doing anything with it. Even though we've later learned that not only...
No, she gets her powers from a warp core, basically.
Yeah, the Tesseract. That's the one of the Blue Infinity Stone, right? That's what I've heard. That's where she got her powers from.
Yep,
because it was...
correct.
And the director said it was sitting around and no one knew what to do with it. But not only did Captain America know that the Nazis, the Hydra, used it to make weapons. Hydra had taken over S.H.I.E.L.D. at the time and was in fact... secretly being run by the scientist who worked with the Tesseract beforehand. So if anyone on the planet knew the person on the planet who knew the most about it would have been the guy secretly running Hydra. S.H.I.E.L.D. through Hydra.
Okay.
So, yeah. So it makes no sense that this thing would have just been sitting around unoccupied. It should have been,
Yeah. Okay.
She should have found out about Hydra in this movie.
Rod says he also didn't like how the Skrulls weren't bad. The Kree and the Skrulls were both asshats.
Yeah, the Skrull storyline in the comic books is a big deal, and a lot of people think that they blew their wad a little bit. Yeah. You could still bring back the Skrulls because there's different, factions of Skrulls.
I think that's going to play a factor in Phase 4. I think that we're going to see the Skrull, the Secret Invasion storyline play out in Phase 4.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
So yeah, I haven't seen it, but I've been told that this movie doesn't rule that out. So you could bring the Skrulls back
because they met just a small faction of them.
These were like the Skrulls from Wisconsin versus the Skrulls from Texas.
Yeah. So that the Rotten Tomatoes controversy kind of opened up another controversy that the critics were admitting to giving higher scores to movies in order to keep studios happy, to keep their jobs now.
Well, there's a lot of critics who are getting insider access, and they're afraid that if they don't give glowing reviews, they might lose that.
Yeah.
I mean, people like us.
Yeah, and I believe that. I believe that 100%. Reviewing movies myself, it's nice to be invited to these premieres. It's nice to be able to go and, rub noses with the stars of the films. Why wouldn't they want that? Hey, give us a good review or you don't get invited to these. I'm positive that happens.
So how do you fix it? Just nobody gets invited to those? Is that it?
I started watching the movies from the Twisted Dreams Film Festival, and I saw one that I didn't really care for. So I'm like, well, I don't want to slam it because, I don't want this guy to not submit movies in the future. So I don't want to offend him. So what do I do?
Yeah.
You're thinking too hard. You got to be honest.
Yeah.
Got to give him the truth.
I'll tell you that the filmmakers won't see a review. That's just us.
Okay, so he's not going to come up and punch me in the middle of the festival.
Mark, you got this, or Molly, you got this recording? Mark's getting choked out again. Second time today.
Nice.
We want to know your actual thoughts on the movies. If you don't like a movie, let us know why.
And also kind of millennials like myself can be giant pussies who don't want to give mean critiques of anything or negative critiques of anything. They view it as being mean when it can be constructive and helpful.
I mean, the whole reason I go to Rotten Tomatoes is because I want an honest review. I want an honest opinion of it. So if these reviewers, even before this story came out, though, I wasn't looking at the critics' reviews. If I wanted to see a true reflection of the movie, I would look at the users' reviews because I feel that they're less biased. They're just,
There's also like thousands of them. So the
Well, yeah.
aggregate score, even if there are some bad actors in there who are skewing the numbers just to be jerks, I'm sure there's just as many people giving it zeros as there are giving it hundreds.
The user reviews are normally much more accurate than the critic reviews. And so people aren't even looking at the critic reviews anymore. I'm not. I don't.
They took down the user reviews of Captain Marvel, too, when I was looking.
You guys watch The Orville?
Yeah.
Yes.
That is getting horrible reviews by the critics and huge reviews by the audience. So there also is a disconnect nowadays between the professional top critics, quote unquote, and people like us who just want to watch something to be fun, like The Orville.
Right.
I love that show.
So I think that's another element here. There's so much going on with the Captain Marvel thing. There's the critic disconnect. There's people doing pay for play so they can get insider access. There's people with political agendas on both sides. There's millennials being afraid to say anything bad ever. And there's so much going on in this little story.
Yeah, but I thought it was fine. I thought it was good.
If this was Movies with Mark, what would you give it?
Maybe a 3.5, 4. Probably closer to a 4.
Captain Marvel?
Yeah. It was a little heavy-handed. Didn't need a hammer. For some parts. I understand it's a girl movie empowering girls. But you don't have to be so obvious. And a lot of people are on the other end that said, hey, this was a chance to really capture the feminine rage. And I'm like, okay, and then what? 9 people would have seen it, and people didn't want to see that.
Those movies exist. They're not billion-dollar blockbusters.
Yeah.
So, there's a movie out there for everybody. That's the beauty of Hollywood right now, is there's so many independent films that if you want to see a very niche thing, I'm sure it exists, and there's 10 examples of good movies in that niche.
Well, they said one of the problems with Captain America is that she's a flawed superhero.
Captain Marvel.
Or Captain Marvel. She's a flawed superhero, and that shouldn't have happened with a girl. And I'm like, every superhero is flawed.
Well, here's another thing about Captain Marvel that I know. They've rebooted her in the comic books like 6 times in the last 6 years. So I would argue that Marvel Comics doesn't have her character really nailed down yet. In the same way they've had Black Panther nailed down for 50 years. They've had Captain America nailed down for 70 years. They don't have good source material that's sold and been popular of Captain Marvel because she's relatively young in the grand scheme of the heroes. So it's also her source material is lacking.
Yeah.
Well, I missed some comments. Ron said, if you want him to punch you, he will.
There you go.
I don't want him to punch me.
But we're not going to press charges.
But if he wants, I'm sure we can come to a financial agreement if he wants to hit me.
And about the reviews, he said there's a fine line. You have people who ball wash and people who are mean to be mean.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to give out a 0. Just because if you submitted a film and paid the fee, that's like putting your name on the SATs. You kind of get a point just for
showing up.
Just for showing up.
There's been some great submissions that
I gave out a 10 already.
Yeah.
We're not going to say, right?
Mm-hmm. You want to go on the record?
Not yet.
John Smith, your thing was great.
Just saying, you're in for some awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Buy some tickets. Come on.
Yeah. Yep.
Is there anything else I wanted to say about Captain Marvel? I thought long and hard about this because it's such a minefield.
Yeah, there is. Well, I can go into our social justice.
I have one critique I have of feminists that I could drop real quick.
Okay, let's do that.
And it's that they, like so many human beings, they fall into the singular mindset. You kind of mentioned it before, like they're a hammer. And when you're a hammer, every problem is a nail.
Yeah.
So if you're a feminist and someone doesn't like your feminist movie, it's because they're sexist. It's not because the movie's just so-so.
Yeah, like Ghostbusters.
Yeah, like Ghostbusters 2016. No one's talking about that movie anymore because it was mediocre at best.
Yeah.
So
Gravy joined in and he says he's a flawless superhero.
That's another thing about Captain Marvel is that she is very similar to Superman in the sense that she's super powered it's like the most powerful character in the universe, whatever. And I point to Superman saying, yeah, that's why he's lame. He's not interesting. He doesn't have any real weaknesses. It's hard to make him engaging. And Captain Marvel is falling into the same category of she's too powerful. She has no weaknesses. It's hard for her to have in the middle of the end of the second act, oh, the chips are down. How is she going to do it? we all already think, well, she's already got this in the bag. We just have to go through the motions.
Yeah.
It's not as interesting to watch as an audience. So if anything, dial her powers back would make her more interesting.
All right. So Jim Carrey, he's a big supporter of the LGBTQ community.
Sure.
But he's now unintentionally, Joe Rogan put him under some fire because he was watching a movie with his daughter, Ace Ventura.
Joe Rogan was watching a movie with his daughter.
And he said, wow, this is just a transphobic movie, like horrible.
Well, it's a product of its day.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, because the main villain was a transgender person in the end, we find out.
Yes. So now the social
But the point was
warriors,
that the person was in hiding, was trying to conceal their identity. So they weren't necessarily someone who transitioned for personal reasons.
And if you've seen Ace Ventura in the shower
Yes.
boiling bleach on himself
Yes.
as he kissed it, Okay, it was funny. Well, this is the first time I've actually seen it seesaw and tip the other way, where these guys are getting some flack because they came out with a list of movies that you can no longer watch because they're unevolved for the day.
They're a product of their time. They're an antique.
And they want them gone off Netflix.
I don't agree with that. I was just watching a video on Disney's The Song of the South, which is a horribly racist movie that came out a long time ago, and Disney never released it like on DVD or Blu-ray or anything. And there are people who even say you should release it even just as an educational tool, kind of like we all had to read The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn and we were kids, even though it had slave talk and a whole bunch of offensive things in it. Go ahead.
Disney did release it overseas. You could buy that in Europe, in the UK.
Yeah, but they never released it in America.
Never in America. No.
And it could be released as an educational tool, just to see, and why is this wrong, kids? Kind of a situation.
Okay.
So these things shouldn't be purged from human existence. It happened.
Well, what's happening is they're starting to crack a little bit because some of these social justice warriors are like, hold on, I like Billy Madison. Well, wait, you can't like Billy Madison because they have a black, this is what they were talking about right here, Mark.
It's got a black maid?
A black maid who's sassy and whip cracking, and it's hilarious, but that is,
A stereotype?
Yep, stereotyping, degrading. She's also fat, spoke with her employee, made sexual passes at Billy. It's insensitive and racist, so you can't like Billy Madison now. So even these social justice warriors that are screaming at that, they're like, yeah, and you can't watch this. And wait, Billy Madison's on? I love Billy Madison.
but I like this one.
But I like this one. Well, you can't have it both ways, so I see some cracks. Here's Austin Powers, obviously, body shaming with Fat Bastard.
Mm-hmm.
Tropic Thunder has blackface.
Yeah, but the blackface in that wasn't mocking. It was the character playing a... Yeah. Well, yeah, we just watched... We had talked about this. My wife and I just watched Blazing Saddles, which they'll never remake that movie ever again.
That's gone.
So, yeah, because there's a picture of Gene Wilder here, Stir Crazy, another one of these movies.
Oh, yep. Tootsie and Mrs. Doubtfire are gone.
So, I mean, I think people need to watch these movies keeping in mind that this is an artifact of a different era, and, we can watch things that are offensive, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be purged from human memory, or people will forget why is blackface offensive.
Well, how many ladies and guys that grew up with 16 Candles and they're trying to ban it?
I've never
Gravy
seen 16
says,
Candles.
I'll be your snack pack. Is that from Billy Madison?
Yeah, I'll be your snack pack.
Why are they trying to ban
Ron
16
says,
Candles?
funny's funny. People need a sense of humor.
Okay, 16 Candles. Long Duck Dong, the Chinese guy.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen 16 Candles?
Nah,
well,
no.
Don't watch it. So, yeah, it's because of Long Duck Dong. He's a Chinese exchange student that they're really...
Okay, so he's a cliche character.
Yeah, very
It's, yeah.
anti-Asian.
All right.
Coming to America, we can't watch. Mrs. Doubtfire's done. Ace Ventura's done. Blazing Saddles, just
Number
like I
one,
said,
yep.
all gone. I know Animal House is obviously gone.
But, I mean, many of these are humorous movies.
Yeah.
And I think humor is a great way to disarm something that is offensive or, bad. If you make it funny, now we can all laugh at it together in the way intended versus in a mean way.
Well, after following and, doing this show and stuff, you follow kind of the pulse of where society is. And this is the first time I've seen some pushback against it where everybody's like, okay,
we're going too far.
Shut the fuck up now. You're attacking Blazing Saddles, man.
Yeah, or at the Rivoli, we play old Christmas movies, and we played Holiday Inn this year. Okay. And there is a sequence with blackface where they celebrate Lincoln's birthday. Mm-hmm. And they all put on blackface and sing, terrible songs and are bouncing around. And it's embarrassing to watch. But I don't think we should edit it out. Like,
right. It's part of stupid. Part of the movie, part of that time.
Yeah.
It's
still
a great movie.
I disagree with you on that. I don't think I don't like that movie personally, but my wife does. And a lot of people do. It's one of the more popular movies in part of our Christmas series. Mm-hmm. But it's just another example of, these things are there, and, it's really awkward in the theater when it plays. You can hear a pin drop.
Yeah. But so do you get that running in the film industry? You got social justice warriors saying you shouldn't play any of these at the film festival?
No, we haven't come across anything like that yet.
Especially with the horror genre. Is it possible to take it too far in a horror film, do you think?
I thought we did on our... what was it, our second year, I think it was? We played a film called Serial Killer Culture, which dealt with Jeffrey Dahmer.
Okay.
And I thought that we'd have people upset about that. We also had a discussion afterwards in a Q&A with the man that runs the Dahmer tours in Milwaukee. So I thought that we'd have some pushback, but no, we didn't have anything. So thankfully, nothing yet.
I think we're just more laid back here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yeah, we're pretty laid back,
Or just drunk or buzzed.
Yeah, there you go.
They serve alcohol at Twisted Dreams, ladies and gentlemen.
They do.
Sold.
What?
Ron again says my movie is about a black trans person who performs on the Chitlin circuit while fat shaming people with anorexia. Will that get me in trouble?
You'll be fine. You got at least a one coming from me.
For putting in the effort.
Yep. All right, so let's talk about Aunt Becky.
Ooh, the college scandal.
You've heard about the college scandal?
Mm-hmm.
You have children in college or going to college right about now, right, Chris?
Yep.
So if you've lived under a rock, this is Lori Loughlin and Felicity Huffman. And what the hell's the mastermind guy's name behind it? They basically ran a ring with school officials that if you bribed them, they changed your SAT score.
So are they bribing the people personally, or are they bribing the university? Where's this money ending up?
The test makers of the SAT score.
They're bribing. Okay.
So like Huffman's daughter, when she took the PSAT, she scored around 1,000, which is between the 39 and 49th percentile. She took the SAT to get into USC. She scores a 1420, 400 points higher. She's in the 97th percentile.
So whatever happened to just bribing the university directly? Whatever happened to building a new science wing so that you'll let my kid in? Because I figured that's been going on forever, right?
But that is something to the effect of everybody's benefiting from the science wing.
Yes.
It's not just a rich person's child. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's why this is how you should bribe people to get your kid into college. Go directly to the university and
else going
buy them something nice.
Gets a better science wing.
Yeah.
It's kind of less.
Everybody wins.
Yeah. But if you're just giving this guy who can change your SAT scores money, so you're rich, you're dumb rich kid. There was also I believe her daughter had to pretend to be
smart.
Opposite.
What do you mean opposite?
Mentally challenged to get more time on their SATs.
You get more time if you
have dyslexia.
Doesn't that defeat the purpose of the standardized test?
Yeah.
I mean, I have friends who are dyslexic.
Yeah.
And they just have to deal. In fact, I have a friend who got kicked out of college. Well, he also had a lot of drinking problems, and I think that's why he got kicked out. But it was found out later that he was also dyslexic. We have a humming sound now.
The humming just came in, and my computer's not plugged in.
Molly's juggling cords because one of our many laptops that we're using today had a low battery message. So Molly just in the background changed a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So this scandal is pretty huge because everybody's pissed off that these actors from Hollywood who use their self-given award gratuity time at an award ceremony lecture us on how to live and how to live our life right, and they're out there scamming even harder.
Well, that's human nature.
Keep telling us how to live, Hollywood. This is why everybody is...
It's like Harvey Weinstein or Matt Lauer claiming to be a huge feminist, and then turns out they're human garbage.
Yeah, they're big assholes. They're the worst of them.
You know, I kind of have a very cynical theory that the more vocal you are about something, it's because you're the exact opposite of it in real life, deep inside.
Yeah.
Like, I knew a guy who was an open womanizer. He would, like, hit on every woman who came by or like judge them, their bodies and all that. And then later he came out as gay. Okay. And he was putting up this facade because he was ashamed of his homosexuality.
Like that.
Yeah. So
I knew something like that.
You take that same approach of someone who is so pro-feminist or whatever, and then it turns out they are the worst thing for feminism ever. And they were just overcompensating, and that's why they were so vocal about it.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. You know what they need to do? Yeah.
My mic's not on.
It's your mic that's causing the buzzing, but...
Oh, no.
You need to do it like Forrest Gump's mom if you want to get your kid into college. So, right now there's a lot of lawsuits coming out that are being filed. Stanford students. Everybody wants their application fee money back, obviously. I mean, it's $100 to apply just to get denied, which is ridiculous for them just to look at your SAT score and go, nope. Mm-hmm.
If you want, I can just cuddle up next to Tom. We can spoon over the same mic.
Oh, jeez. I don't know what's going on. These guys are throwing me off, so...
Molly just sacrificed her microphone for me. She's so noble.
Excellent.
I don't know how you put up with us. Us sexist man-baby pigs.
I don't know. This is going to get really huge and deep. But William H. Macy is not being charged.
So I saw his name in a headline. What is he also doing? Was he a part of this as well?
He's the husband of one of them.
Oh, okay. I don't know who's married to who in Hollywood.
Oh, come on. Did you see a picture of their courtroom sketches, by the way?
No.
Oh, you guys got to pull up that. They are sexy.
Ooh.
As soon as that comes up.
They probably slipped a couple of bucks to the courtroom sketcher to make them look good.
I don't know. If you got a choice, sex with Felicity Huffman or jack off to her courtroom sketch, you're going to want to take the sketch. Okay, here. Let me bring that up. We are just not doing well with Skype today, guys.
Well, we don't do this setup often, so we tried some new things today. All right. Just make sure my mic worked.
Yeah.
All right, Tom, so what else you got in the story pipeline?
Last, before we get to some speed rail, is the story about Italy overturns a rape conviction.
Yeah, this is disgusting.
Because the court deems the woman too ugly to be raped.
I hate to sound racist or whatever, but yeah, that's Italy for you.
Is that a thing in Italy?
I would say there's a lot of misogyny in Italian culture, a lot of objectification of women and things like that. In Italy, not in Italian Americans.
Yo, Mark, why ain't you dating my cousin Sheila? She's a little thick because she cooks good, but, you know, she's rapeable.
Well, no, there was that, was it Razor Blade commercial where it was all about, you know, guys turning their head and how disrespectful that is. Mm-hmm. Every man's head is on a swivel in Italy. When you go over there, they are all hooting and hollering and whatever attractive lady walks by. So that's just Italian culture. They're very passionate people, and yeah.
Well, this court was made up of all women that made this appeal.
So here's the other thing about the whole rape thing. If you're a rapist, you're probably not looking at raping the most attractive person. You're looking at raping the person you can get away with raping.
Okay.
So you might target the weakest zebra in the herd. So yeah, usually when someone is abusive, they don't target people who are attractive. They target people they think they can get away with it with. So I don't think her looks have anything to do with her being raped.
It's not like...
Well, there's that episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia when their childhood gym teacher was accused of being inappropriate, and then Mac's character was like, "How come he didn't attack me? I was a beautiful little boy."
Yeah,
and and through the course of the story, he learns that it's not about attraction; it's about power, and it's about who is going to take this versus who's attractive.
Okay.
So there's a lot more at here than just looks, and it's disgusting that this happened in Italy.
There are a lot of protests breaking out right now.
As there should be.
I can imagine. That's terrible.
So
I didn't know the jury was all women.
Yeah.
I just saw the article and I went, really, Italy?
Are they saying she's less human because she's not attractive?
Yeah, the world's full of 5s, 5 out of 10s.
You can walk around Italy. You're safe. You're in no danger, lady. In Italy. That's just women being catty. No, nobody would rape her with your dick, Mark. So.
And I don't think people realize how, as bad as America can be, other countries can be so much worse. Like, Susan was traveling in Russia back in college, and everyone told them, the Americans in Russia, don't smile at people, because if you smile at a man, he's going to see it as a come-on and as a tacit permission to basically assault you. And that's just the way the culture is in Russia. So, yeah, this is another example of, you think Italy is just like America, or Russia is just like America. It's not.
You got engaged in Italy, right?
It's totally different. I proposed in Italy.
That's getting engaged, right?
Correct.
Okay.
You are technically correct.
Okay.
Oh, Ron says he's a solid 3.5.
All right.
Yeah, on a 3.6 scale.
Yeah.
Oh, Mark. You just don't want to get punched.
All right. So, Speed Rail, Italy, get your fucking shit together. Everybody gets a 1 for showing up. A 1 is rapeable. Just come on.
Yeah. Yeah, I think even we think this is bad.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Nearly 150 fishermen stranded on Lake Erie as a huge chunk breaks.
This is Speed Rail?
Yeah, Speed Rail.
So they were on ice?
Yeah, ice fishing, and then part of the ice near the shore just kind of...
Isn't there when do you stop ice fishing? Is it a temperature thing? Is it an ice thickness thing?
Ice thickness.
Is it a day?
No, it's not a day. It's ice thickness.
So these guys just went out there on the day when it was thick enough, but not thick enough.
Well, they just floated away like an iceberg. Now they're just standing on an iceberg.
In the middle of Lake Erie.
Yeah.
All right.
Going away.
I think towards the end of what I imagine is the ice fishing season, I personally would start to dial it back. I wouldn't be, one more ice fishing. Come on, guys.
I'll just wait next week and take the boat out.
That's how your truck falls through the ice.
Your truck or the ice shanty that you didn't get off the ice in time. We've seen ice shanties go under, or people struggling to get them off in time.
I don't like
because I'm the first
fishing.
guy to say, hey, one more bonfire. Come on, guys. I know it's 30 degrees out, but the fire's warm. Come on.
But your yard isn't going to float away.
Yeah.
That's not the same.
You're not going to
sink into
be
the
stranded or potentially drowned because of it.
Right.
Yeah. So Lady Gaga is not pregnant. That is apparently
I didn't know
news.
she was.
She wasn't.
Not pregnant. Okay.
People were assuming she was, but she is not.
Okay.
And
last I heard, there was gossip of her and Bradley Cooper being a thing. Is that real?
But they're not.
No, that was just because of the Oscar
And she even came out and
performance.
said, we're Oscar-nominated actors.
Right.
Of course you're going to think that. That's what we
We
wanted
are
you to
great
think.
at lying to you.
Yeah. Isn't it nice that Hollywood is just like doing a different crime, that they're done raping each other for long enough to commit some new crime before they tell me what to do?
Yeah. Well,
It's just nice to have something new.
It's human nature. We're all terrible, terrible monsters.
Yep.
Some of us
Crazy
just realize
says
it.
stop reading Star Magazine.
Let's go back to Weekly World News.
Mama June is arrested for drug possession. Honey Boo Boo's mom.
Oh, okay.
She's on this She Was Hot or Not to Hot show now.
I saw clickbait of, you won't believe what Honey Boo Boo's mom looks like now articles, but I never clicked on them.
Well,
No.
even though they call her hot, she is still not
She's still Honey Boo Boo's
in
mom.
danger in
Italy?
Yeah, she's all right. So she's arrested, drug possession. You can take the trash out of the trailer park.
What drugs? Does it say?
and her.
Ron says Gaga and Cooper's performance got him pregnant.
Ooh, a little too close to TV on that one.
Yeah. All right, let's get on with the interview. This is why you're here, right, Chris?
Okay.
We got a little bit of interview, so we're getting close to the festival. What's going on here? I'm just going to let you take the reins.
We're getting ready. You know, we're starting to sell tickets. If you want to buy tickets, go to timecinema.com. We've got a whole bunch of good movies to show.
And do they buy tickets for individual shows?
Yeah, tell us how the days work is what we're kind of curious. Because I've had a couple people ask me, what am I buying tickets for? Do I buy...
Yeah, is it like the Milwaukee Film Festival?
Yeah, it's exactly like the film festival. You're buying a ticket for either a movie or a block of short films.
Okay. So if I sell everybody should go see Straight Edge Kegger, they can buy a ticket for Straight Edge Kegger and get in.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, you can buy passes that are good for the entire festival, passes that are good for just the weekend, or you can buy just individual tickets to get into, movies or short film blocks.
Are you expecting tickets to be available at the last minute, or are you expecting sellouts in advance?
The Joe Bob show, I'm expecting to sell out.
Okay,
so
that makes sense.
Joe Bob, definitely
we got
buy
our
tickets early.
Yes, we got tickets.
For everything else, we should have tickets.
Does each movie just play once?
Just once, yep.
Okay.
Now you have you were talking about Q&As and stuff. How does that work? Is that part of your
we've got a lot
block?
of visiting filmmakers. So anytime there's a visiting filmmaker, after their film plays, we're going to have them up on stage and we'll have a Q&A. Just take questions from the audience. And
okay.
That kind of stuff.
But the unwashed commoners have to go to the film festival to see them. They can't see them like Mark and I.
Well, no, we're judges. We have special access to facilitate our judging in advance of the big show.
So, but what I'm saying is...
Tom's new to the whole I'm a judge thing.
You're not going to have fans of the movie come waiting to ask directors questions lined up. You're going to have people that just see the movie and then come up with questions on the spot.
I think so, yeah. I don't think we're going to have anybody that have seen these films before. Some of these are premieres that have never shown before, so I think we're going to have a whole new audience.
So how does the short block judge day work? You just take 6 or 7 movies kind of in a 90-minute block and...
Pretty much.
How many of the... Because I'm reviewing 43 of them. Are you playing all 43 or are you...
Oh, yeah.
They're all getting played.
Yeah, we've got, I think, a total of 63 films in the festival this year.
What are tickets ranging?
$10.
$10.
So if I want to see some of the shorts, how many shorts do I get to see for $10?
90 minutes worth, right?
Yeah, it depends on the block. Yeah, at least 90 minutes. Well, I think 112 minutes.
Okay, so
the average.
So an hour to an hour and a half.
Yeah,
$10 gets you an hour to an hour and a half. Okay.
Yep, it's $10 a ticket, except for Joe Bob. Joe Bob is $20. He's a little bit more expensive, but
and are you
$10.
curating these shorts by theme, or are they just thrown together for a good cross section?
If you go to our Facebook page, we've got events set up, and we've got a Twisted Monster block, we've got a Twisted Comedy block, so they're all by theme.
Excellent.
Oh yeah, I've seen a Twisted Comedy already.
And Gravy is a little bit salty with you, Tom.
Why?
He says, "I used to be a judge." Tom.
Ooh.
I remember
shots fired.
Being in a movie with Gravy and him talking about how he hated being a judge.
Well, yeah, that was when I was a judge. Now that I'm not a judge.
I will tell Gravy that we still may need him to be a judge because we've got some judges that haven't watched any films yet, so we still may need him.
I just started.
Hey,
I will finish.
I am probably 25 to 40% done in that range. I don't know how many hours I've watched.
You're going to go watch some more tonight.
Tonight's going to be a big movie night for us.
Nice.
So, what's up with Joe Bob? Is he kind of cool or what? Is he going to punch Mark? Have you talked with him at all?
No, we just emailed through. We haven't actually had any correspondence with Joe Bob yet. We've just been talking with his assistant. So
okay. So what do we expect from his the main feature is Joe Bob Briggs. So how Redneck Saved Hollywood? Do you know anything about that or any teasers we can get? Because I didn't know who Joe Bob Briggs was. I wasn't in the industry, right, Mark?
You didn't have cable?
I didn't know Joe Bob Briggs.
You didn't watch TNT?
No. So
for shame, sir.
Tell us a little bit about him, I guess.
Sure. Let me pull it up here.
There you go.
I'll read the description to you.
Okay.
So is he giving a talk and then a Q&A, or is it just straight Q&A?
I think it's like a
Spend a fast and furious 2 hours with America's drive-in movie critic as he uses over 200 clips and stills to review the history of rednecks in America as told through the classics of both grindhouse and mainstream movies. You will learn the identity of the first redneck in history, the precise date the first redneck arrived in America, the most sacred redneck cinematic moments, how Thunder Road, the Whiskey Rebellion, the lights cut off worn by Claudia Jennings in Gator Bait, illegal Coors beer, and the Cannonball Baker Sea to Shining Sea Memorial Trophy Dash combined to inspire the greatest movie in the world, in the history of the world. Why the redneck is the scariest monster in film of all time with visual evidence.
So The Hills Have Eyes comes to mind.
Nice.
That movie freaked me out a lot.
It's fun and entertaining. And educational. Fun and educational.
Yeah, so that's right up your alley, dude. You can't miss Joe Bob. You'll be there.
I'm going to.
Yeah.
Unless you bought me a ticket.
You're not going to get off $20 to go see Joe Bob? Wouldn't your wife like that?
Babysitting and all that kind of shit.
So, come on.
I cannot commit to things. Sorry.
I'm going to get a hold of Susan, don't worry.
Mark will Gravy, be there. Cue banjo music.
Yeah. So, you got a lot of people coming in from all over the place, right? You got hotel rooms for these people?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've got discount hotel rates at the Crown Plaza Hotel, and that link is on our Facebook page if you're interested.
All right. What else you want to say about that there?
Oh, it's going to be a great time. We've got a lot of great films, a lot of great. We've got some panels on the way too. We've got one panel on how to make a great short film, which is hosted by Ron Purty.
Oh, Ron's going to be
awesome.
there.
Yep.
Rat Bat Spider will be playing Saturday night, yep. Right?
Friday night. Opening night. Yep. Rat Bat Spider and Deadger Winter, Wisconsin area horror host, and his Dead Girls are going to be hosting that party.
All right.
So it should be a good time.
Is there any update on possible merch tables?
I don't think we're going to have a merch table.
Okay.
Maybe
Joe Bob might. Yeah.
He wants a spot when he has a show because he wants to mingle with the fans and stuff. But maybe we might be able to swing something. The only problem is the lobby there is just so darn small.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know how that can be.
We're around the corner in the back where we're going to be podcasting.
By the bathrooms.
Around the corner of the bathrooms, tucked into the back.
We're by that dumpster next to the alleyway.
Yep.
It's a very nice theater. It's just got a small lobby. There's not much room to set up stuff.
Yeah, most old theaters have shockingly small lobbies.
Yeah.
All right, so we got Gravy commenting too. Tell us a little bit about what the paranormal investigators are doing this summer. You guys got a big trip planned?
Yeah, every summer we take an expedition. We visit a few different places that we wanted to try to investigate. Let me pull up where we're going this year.
Yeah, you guys should be doing. Where does your wife want them to go?
The mill.
The mill.
Oh yeah, the Arts Mill just up the road from us is believed by many to be haunted here in Grafton, and we have access to it. So, see if we can make this happen.
That could be a awesome night.
Because Paula has the keys for that too. So she gave us the keys for this building. Why wouldn't she give us the keys for that one?
Hey, Paula, give me your keys. Which ones? I don't care. Just give me keys. I'm going in wherever I want.
All right. So Gravy, correct me if I'm wrong here, but looks like we're going to Old Lake County Jail and Sheriff's Office in Crown Point, Indiana. And that place's claim to fame is John Dillinger once broke out of one of the cells.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool.
All right.
And then Old Licking County Jail in Newark, Ohio.
A lot of jails.
Gravy likes jails. I don't know. He has a thing for jails.
Well, it makes sense. A lot of emotions in that space.
No big claim to fame there, just haunted.
Just haunted.
And then Post Town Elementary School in Middleton, Ohio.
Awesome.
So yeah, it should be a nice little mini expedition. We alternate years. One we'll go on a big expedition, and then the next year we'll go on a smaller one, then a bigger one, then a smaller one. So this is our smaller year.
Okay.
Nice.
Excellent.
I'm sorry to throw you back to the film festival. I've got a question from Ron. He wants to know who's running the Q&A for the Wisconsin short film block. Did we already cover that?
Probably me or Steve.
And then Gravy says, fond memories of my days in jail. Dropped the soap all the time.
Oh my.
Personal choice.
Whoops.
All right. So, you also have what's your other podcast that you do there, Chris? Wanted to plug that a little bit.
Oh, it's Pop Culture Weekly. We podcast only on YouTube right now, but we do that every Thursday night at 7.
Okay, and you were talking about a lot of the stuff we talked about today, right?
We did, yeah. Yeah, we talked about the Captain America, Rotten Tomatoes debacle. That was a good talk.
So, all right, and I guess that's all I got for today here. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, it was, open mic. Anything you want to talk about?
No, just, we're working hard on the festival. We hope you guys all come down and check it out.
We're going to be there. I'll be
Awesome.
there every day. Molly's off work. I'll be hanging out with Joe Bob and some dead girls. So, all right.
You'll be
Mark.
there.
You need your clipboard.
Oh my god. I have one job here.
One job.
So we are Off the Rails with Tom and Mark, and you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Off the Rails TM. That website of ours, offtherailstm.com. Email us if you want to be on the show or you just want to hang out, offtherailstm@gmail.com. Send your questions to asktomanything414@gmail.com. This podcast is available on SoundCloud, YouTube, Stitcher, iTunes, places on the internet where you already go for podcasts.
All right, yeah. Easiest way to help us out is just like and share. Click,
share, subscribes. Yeah.
Go to the Twisted Dreams Film Festival.
Support
Get
the
your
show
passes.
on Patreon.
Patreon. We got new shirts. We got everything coming. Buy a house. Get in contact with Roy.
Buy a shirt. Buy a house.
Buy a shirt. Buy a house. Whatever. Roy lives right by the Times Cinema, so he will definitely be down there too. So he'll be getting in contact with you. I'll get in contact with him, and
great.
Make sure you come see us. We're getting ready for our live event. Molly's practicing, getting everything all set up. We're very mobile, so
all right.
Remember, universe, we're not good enough.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, guys.